Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a hidden force, a kind of fear that secretly shapes, well, pretty much everything around us. I'm talking about the fear of empty space.
I mean, just think about it for a second. That super cluttered room or a crazy busy web page, maybe even your own jam-packed schedule. Ever just stop and wonder, why do we have this need to fill every single empty space?
Well, it turns out that impulse actually has a name. And believe it or not, its roots go back thousands and thousands of years.
Okay, the term is horror vacui. It's Latin and it literally means fear of emptiness. It's that tendency to just cram every little bit of space with stuff. Now, the term itself got popular thanks to an art critic named Mario Praz, who used it to talk about all that cluttered Victorian design. But the idea is way older than that.
And this is where it gets really interesting. See, this isn't just some design trend we're talking about. Nope. It's a deep philosophical concept. We're talking about guys like Aristotle, who basically argued that a true void, actual nothingness, was literally impossible in nature. So it's no surprise that this deep-seated fear of the void has had a huge, powerful influence on art all throughout history. And I mean, you can see this everywhere. Seriously. From sacred texts in medieval Europe all the way to the psychological depths of what we call modern art. So let's take medieval monks, for example. For them, an empty space on a page, that was like a void that absolutely had to be filled with devotion. So every single one of those intricate little details, that wasn't just decoration. No, it was a form of reverence. It was about leaving zero room for any worldly thoughts to creep in.
Then you have other artists, especially in a category known as outsider art, where this impulse comes from a really deep psychological place. It's like a compulsion, a need to get this complex inner world out by covering every single available surface.
But, of course, this intense fear of emptiness, this need to fill everything, it couldn't last forever, right? A rebellion against all that clutter was definitely brewing, and it led to a massive turning point.
And it all started with a simple question. What if emptiness isn't some void to be scared of, but a space that's actually full of potential? I mean, that one question just completely flips the script on 2,000 years of Western thought.
And this right here really gets to the heart of a huge cultural divide. For centuries in the West, emptiness was seen as a negative thing, right? It meant loss, nothingness. But in many Eastern philosophies, it was the total opposite. Emptiness was a positive state. It was seen as the source of all possibilities. So this Eastern way of thinking started to filter into the West, and it really began to influence artists in the 20th century. And that, my friends, led to a totally revolutionary new movement, minimalism.
And listen, this wasn't just some idea stuck in the art world. Not at all. This embrace of emptiness, it fundamentally changed the world all around us. I'm talking everything from the buildings we live in to the screens we stare at all day.
You've probably heard this one, the architect Mies van der Rohe's iconic phrase, "Less is more." That little phrase became the mantra for all of modern design. It was all about clean lines, open spaces, and it completely changed the look and feel of our architecture.
But that old fear, that fear of empty space, oh, it is alive and well, especially online. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You land on a web page and it's so cluttered with ads and pop-ups and text that you just can't find anything. Well, in the world of user experience design, they literally call that digital horror vacui.
So what's the antidote to all that chaos? Well, it's something designers call white space. And it's basically the intentional use of nothing. But that nothing is actually an incredibly powerful tool. It gives everything breathing room and makes information so much clearer and easier to digest.
Just think about this for a second. What do junk mail flyers look like? They're crammed, right? Every inch is filled with text and pictures. Now, think about a luxury brand's website or ad. It's the opposite, tons of empty space. Emptiness itself has become a modern sign of value and sophistication. Okay, so if emptiness can be so valuable in art and design, it kind of makes you wonder, right? What about all those empty spaces in the actual world around us? Can we find that same kind of value there too?
Well, the answer, as it turns out, might be hiding in some of the most overlooked places you can imagine, what people often call urban wastelands.
Because what ecologists are finding is that these voids, they're not empty at all.
They are absolutely teeming with life. They act as these vital little habitats, these islands of biodiversity right in the middle of the concrete jungle. They have their own worth, completely separate from whatever use we think we have for them.
So, when you think about it, our whole understanding of emptiness has really come full circle. We went from literally fearing a vacuum to finding incredible artistic potential, crystal clear design, and even ecological richness inside those very same empty spaces.
So this tension, this push and pull between our impulse to fill everything up and the real power of the void, that's a new lens you can use to see the world a little differently now. And it really just leaves us with one final thought, a simple question to ask yourself. Where in your life do you need a little more empty space?